I imagine people like would come in with like homebrewers and like be like, "What's wrong with this?"
Oh yeah,
is that a lot?
Those are the moments.
Yeah. What were some of the crazy things that you had? It was just like people doing.
I had a guy that wanted to malt chickpeas and make a chickpea beer. I'm not quite sure why.
Yeah.
But he wanted to. And he kept asking me questions, and I'm like, I just really don't have any experience malting or brewing with chickpeas.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible.
Right.
Um,
and a lot of, this tastes like shit to me. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thrilled.
Welcome back to the Brew App Podcast. I'm your host, Richie Tevlin, joined as always by Evan Blum.
Hello, guys.
Today we have on George Hummel.
Howdy.
From Home Sweet Homebrew, My Local Brew Works, and the Mid-Atlantic Brewing News, among other things.
Scourge of the brewing industry.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of brewers on here, obviously, a lot of people in the brewing industry, and I feel like we're always trying to find like the least common denominator between everybody, and we might have just found it with you. So Home Sweet Homebrew, if you haven't heard, is like, probably it was the original homebrew shop in Philadelphia.
That's what we was.
The original homebrew shop in Philly. Lots of brands had started here: Yards, Victory, Dogfish Head, Flying Fish, Oxbow. Am I missing any?
Dog Street. We could go on. I mean, ad infinitum. I mean, there's people on the West Coast. There's people in Vegas.
Yeah. And
I got brewers all over the country.
And then if you go on from the tree from all those breweries to other people that have started stuff, probably like 90% of the breweries in the Philadelphia region. So
the Iron Hill Boys, may they rest in peace.
Yep. Lots of people. So I'm sure we'll get lots of stories tonight. But it's nice to have you on, and then
nice to be here.
And then also My Local Brew Works. Like, you're not even, I guess, done. Like, you're still like pumping out great beer at My Local Brew Works.
I don't want to stop. I'm having too much fun.
I mean, people retire and then they start homebrewing. You started off by figuring out retirement, and then
I got roped in.
So before we get started, can we crack open one of those beers? And then
absolutely, we've got the Bolo Light. I'd say would be the best.
Yes, I want to try this.
Which is a beer we brew for Bolo Restaurant on my old block on Sansom Street.
Oh, cool.
Chef Yoon there.
So I was driving Yoon the other day in Uber. It was after midnight. He was like wrapping up, and I started to try to pitch him like on Space Good, because obviously he's locked in my car for 15 minutes. I'm going to try to get the shakedown. And he's just like, well, unfortunately, like, I only buy from My Local Brew Works. So I was like, all right, well, small world. We're about to have George on. So kind of all worked out. But this is the what?
This is the Bolo Light, which is what we're calling a pre-prohibition cream ale.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I'll take a wee drop of that.
The labels are cool. It's like
basically we don't really do much production. These are actually just samples.
Yeah.
So that we could showcase to another potential client the breadth of stuff we do for them. In fact, the one beer I brought in a growler for that reason. Most of our labeled beers are special projects for either somebody's event or corporation, or a lot of them have been for charity.
I mean, I think my beers are special because I I advertise like how many cans are. This says written in hand when it was bottled, and written in hand the number of beer bottle it is in the number of 150. That's very cool.
Well,
the beer looks great.
Basically, with a handwritten label, there's no label registration requirements.
Oh, there you go.
You just got to have the drinking will make you pregnant on there, and
yeah.
So do any of these go out to like bottle shops or anything?
We do not sell in stores.
Not at all. Okay.
Our labels are private, which is another way we can get by without having the artwork examined.
Yeah, so
they're not for sale. They're not for distribution.
Yeah.
I want to get into your history, but just to kind of give some more background for everybody. My Local Brew Works is like, I don't know how to describe it, pimped out homebrew system.
It is the first custom craft brewery in the country where we're brewing small batch beers for people's specific needs. with the exception of the Philly Finger that I brought. If our beer is on at a place, they have it exclusively.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like you can brew beer specifically for like weddings and stuff. Like,
Yes.
I brewed a 7-barrel batch for this French restaurant group, Supper in South Philly, but they had to buy 70 cases of it.
Right.
So like a lot of places are not looking to take on 70 cases. How did? Like,
I mean, we will actually do less than the barrel. And in fact, sometimes what we do is we end up renaming the beer and
Yeah.
sending it out to accounts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're fairly flexible. That's what we had a corporation, and basically they came down from New York to brew 2 beers for their 4th of July party, private
Nice.
labels,
Yeah.
artwork, mocking their staff and stuff. And they couldn't find anybody local that would sell them less than 50 barrels.
yeah. Yeah.
So, you know,
I don't
on a
think they needed
custom
50 barrels for their
So we did 2 1-barrel batches, and
perfect amount.
they loved it. Well, we did an American brown ale, and we did a American mango wheat beer
Nice.
because they asked.
That's not your brew that you're making every day?
It's not my choice.
Okay.
But I have to say, I took a growler of it to the beach, and it was pretty refreshing on a hot afternoon.
That's how those beers normally go. I'm like, I don't want to like this, but then I end up liking them.
Do you probably see a lot of funky stuff that people want to brew that come through?
We try to gently steer them in a reasonable direction.
Sure.
The guys are first of all not into making any sours.
Okay.
I suppose a kettle sour might fly, but they don't want any crazy yeast loose in the brewery.
Is that, so I know
Excuse me.
famously Sam from Dogfish Head used to buy from you.
Uh-huh.
When he started buying all of his crazy stuff, were you looking at him like, what the hell are you trying to make down there?
I thought he was a home brewer and going nuts, and so no, I'm gonna open a brew pub in Rehoboth Beach, and I was like, "You crazy?"
So let's get back to Home Sweet Homebrew.
Sure.
So you guys opened in early
1986.
1986. And I mean, what was the scene like back then? I mean, was it just...
It's funny because kids would come in the later days and ask me why I started brewing, and I would tell them because I couldn't get good beer in Philadelphia, and they looked at me like I was nuts. May not have been that, but anyway, yeah, I mean, it was just I blame Sierra Nevada, actually, because I used to drink a lot of beer. Growing up, I was an import snob because it wasn't really.
You're from Philly?
Yeah, I'm from Philly.
Cool.
I grew up bringing, German and English beers, basically,
Yeah.
because that's the mongrel. I'm a Irish. I'm a true Philly mongrel. And as an import snob, as I would travel the country following the dead around, I would try different beers, different regional beers.
Yeah.
And finally, I ended up in San Francisco for the closing of Winterland in '78. And somebody said, well, have you had Anchor Steam? And I was like, no, what's that? It was like, and that was like, a kismet moment. I go back the next year and I have my first Sierra Nevada. And at that time, they weren't East. And my wife was involved in sales.
Was Sierra Nevada popular back then in California?
Reasonably.
Okay.
I mean, it was a cult with a bunch of weirdos, okay?
Yeah. But it was kind
Which is,
of
I was comfortable with that, label.
That's my scene.
Right. Sign me up, But, so I have the Sierra Nevada. This is great.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the closest I could get, my wife was doing sales for a national food company. She would pick up Sierra Nevada for me down in D.C. because there's no state laws, and the stores down there just bring in anything.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I don't know if it's currently that way, but at the time, it was the Wild West down there.
That's cool. So what? You just kind of got a liking of craft beer, and you saw
I couldn't get it, so I started making it. I mean,
So you were home brewing for a while before
I started home brewing because I wanted something that tasted like Celebration Ale all the time.
So if you're the first homebrew shop, where did you get your materials from?
Well, actually, I bought the shop. Friends of ours opened it in '86 and migrated to Seattle.
Yeah.
and we took it over. So I I was already like a big customer, and Nancy just cut her losses and bought me the store.
Yeah, cut the margin by just buying the whole thing. And so you guys were located in Central Philly, just west of Brewing House?
Yeah, 20th and Sansom for forever.
Nice. And kind of what was the scene like? I mean, we've had a lot of people like William Reed, Tom Keogh on it, both mentioned you about how they, were learning to brew from you, kind of coming in, getting their stuff. Was it
apparently I sold Bill Kovaleski and Ron Barchet a homebrew kit when they were underage.
Well, I brought a homebrew kit underage from Keystone Homebrew like 12 years ago. But I think it's allowed. I mean, it's just a bucket and some grains. Like
somebody was telling us it's not. I forget who.
It's not illegal.
I don't think it's legal. Once. Yeah, I don't think it's allowed.
I actually called the state, and they told me that there's no reason that I shouldn't.
Really?
And my philosophy was this. One Father's Day, a kid calls me up, and he says, do I have to be 21 to buy one of those homebrew kits? And I said, what do you want it for? He said, I thought it'd be a great Father's Day gift for my dad. I said, come on down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if he said to me, I'm going to go home and make beer and break the law and drink it, I would have said, I'm sorry, Junior.
Yeah, I can't remember what happened. I mean, I definitely bought it when I was 20 years old. I mean, it was a 5-gallon plastic bucket and some grain.
Yeah.
And yeast.
It's kind of on you to do
Yeah, for me to break the law.
Right. That's the thing is you're not actually, providing alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where were you getting, like, if you were so early into home brewing, were you buying grain and stuff from, like, how does it work? Are there homebrew outlets or?
At Home Sweet, we had literally extracts, and we had two-row, and we had something called caramel malt. I don't know what color it was.
Yeah.
It was, there was chocolate, there was black, it was.
Too rare they got left in there a little bit too long.
Very basic. I mean,
Yeah.
not the 36 kinds of environment grains I play with now.
Yeah. And I guess, like, what was the scene like back then? Were, like, people coming in? Like, did you have a homebrew system in the store?
I did at one point have a rudimentary electric system set up I would use for demos and classes. And also I found it, was easy to get like stuff I needed for events made during the day, during the gaps in the retail day.
Yeah. But I guess, I mean, in Center City, people were coming in and like just it was kind of a happening store back then.
Right. Well, we would basically be busy on the lunch break, and then we'd be busy when people started leaving work.
Got it. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
How did you see like demand grow over the course of the years? Probably since you bought when you bought the store originally.
Well, it really went crazy in the 90s and the early aughts, and then interest in the hobbies really waned. Interest in craft beer is waning. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with these kids.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff. It's like online dating became a thing at the same time that weed became legalized and sports gambling became legalized. So it's like the trifecta of the enemy of craft beer kind of all came out at once, and it was a lot to take on.
I don't know. When I have weed, the first thing I want is a beer.
Yeah, but I guess that plus Tinder plus sports gambling it was a lot.
Yeah.
But I've heard you say that like it was also kind of like the birth of home brewing kind of like was its death, because all these people that we talked about that were buying all this beer from you.
Actually, that was an ad we ran at one point. Over the years, we've lost some of our best customers and basically listed a who's who of local brewers.
Yeah.
Which we approved at first with everybody, but they were okay with it.
When did like all grain brewing become more common in home brewing?
In the late 90s, there was a lot more people that were getting into it. And it reached the point where, like, I get people who didn't want to start with extract. And I'm like, well, why don't you first take a can of stock and put some fresh vegetables in it and make a good soup that way, and, build up your soup making skills.
Yeah.
And then take a chicken.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
There was like reticence to take the first steps. And it's like, I think it was the internet in a lot of ways. I saw a guy, and it's like they'd have a rough idea of the process, and it's like, yeah, good luck with that, buddy.
When did like the John Palmer books and like the Joy of Homebrewing, like were those out by the time that you
Joy of Homebrewing was very old. That was the original book.
And that's still like the book that most people get when they start homebrewing.
Right. And of course we can't not mention the Complete Homebrew Handbook that I did.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, that was your book?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had no idea.
The Complete Homebrew Beer Book, Robert
that.
Rose. I don't have a copy with me. I mean,
I have a copy in my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's funny. So, like, how did it kind of like evolve from there? Like, did it just slowly kind of like peak and then kind of fall off, or like, what was the life of that? Because
it peaked, and then at the same time as you start seeing craft brewing interest waning, the homebrew interest, and really, as we were citing, that's the fertile ground where the craft brewers came from.
Yeah, and also a lot of the interest in craft beer.
Yeah,
like even if they're not starting breweries, like if home brewing's waning, like that, there's a lot of people that are interested in the hobby that are just like are not now super fans of craft beer,
right,
that are kind of involved with it.
But by the same token, I can't see people waking up and going, yeah, that was a fun diversion in my life. I'm going to go back to drinking Coors Light now,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I don't think that I'm ever going to go back. I've taken the red pill. But so when did I guess you've also been writing for Mid-Atlantic Brew News for a while.
Yeah, I've been with them since their inception and their predecessor paper, the Barleycorn.
And that's like 25 years.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you've been doing that almost as long as you've been doing the Home Sweet Homebrew.
Yeah.
So was that like, did you feel like that was like driving business to you, or like kind of?
It was
You just kind of
yes and no. I mean, it certainly added to whatever credibility I had.
Yeah. Have you always been writing, or like that was kind of your first?
I was directed towards writing actually by my high school guidance counselor. He looked at my mechanical aptitude test and suggested I become a journalist.
Oh, really? Was that your job before homebrewing?
What? Before homebrewing, I worked in the natural foods industry.
Okay. And then,
how did you watch like Mid-Atlantic Brew News kind of like evolve too? Like, was that a quick sort of?
I got an email. Hey, some of the people who used to do Barleycorn, we're putting together a new paper. You want to keep covering Philly and Delaware and do a homebrew column? And I was like, yeah, sure.
And what I know now, Mid-Atlantic Brew News is mostly like an e-newspaper.
Yeah.
But how did you see that grow? I mean, there's a publication from, I mean, I know brewing was a thing, but it like really exploded in like you said, like the early aughts, and then like again in like the.
I mean, the amount of space I could devote to a single brewery now is like,
yeah,
minuscule. I used to have to really, blow some air into those columns, and now it's like, man, it just sounds like I'm quickly reporting what everybody's brewing,
Yeah, but it's. Were you kind of like how did that even come about? Like the grain and kernel? What was the one before that?
The Barleycorn.
The Barleycorn. Like how did was that already a thing before you started writing for it? Like
at that point, the publisher came to town. He needed somebody to distribute the papers. Like he wanted to send to a central point and then have them taken around and approached me to do the local coverage and. Sort of,
and you were kind of the middle of the scene there anyway, because everyone was like kind of everybody that was in the scene was coming to you anyway,
right? And they liked that I was neutral because I wasn't affiliated with a particular brewery.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I had no agenda, but I knew the processes and how to taste the shit. So
yeah,
a lot of the brewers liked that.
Talk and walk the walk.
Right, exactly.
You didn't have any skin in the game as far as like writing for one brewery or another.
Exactly.
That makes sense. And then that comes out once a month?
Every other
month.
That's bi-monthly, but that confuses some people. Does it mean twice a month or every other?
Yeah, so it's semi-annual, biannual. Okay, so I guess Home Sweet Homebrew kind of like led away in 2019.
Well, we moved into a delivery pickup operation at My Local Brew Works.
Okay.
It's
still around, right? It's just kind of like if you want.
It's a part-time job because that's the nature of the biz. But yeah, we actually figured out that driving around in the car, delivering stuff to our customers, was cheaper than rent.
I'm sure, yeah. Because I'm sure, like, people come in also. Like
and people don't mind picking up and having a beer or two at the brewery and looking at all the shiny stuff too.
Yeah. I read the article that Tara wrote about you guys when you guys were closing. It was like kind of like what you guys call the Amazon effect. Like everybody wanted stuff now, but it's just like there's so many things that to have in homebrew. It's like you either have a store like Keystone Homebrew where it's just like almost too big, and like in the city that doesn't really make sense. And they've downsized as well, or it's going to take people 2 or 3 weeks for you to source this stuff and get it to you.
Right.
It just makes a lot more sense for you to just deliver it.
Exactly. I have it on hand. It comes to them, crushed up and ready to go, fresh.
Yeah. So, but as far as the brick and mortar wound down in 2019.
Yeah. We were going to move to another location on the block. We had a whole deal set up with our landlord. I was going to approach the My Local guys who I've known for years about setting up a tasting room there, which would make perfect sense. Landlord thought it was a great idea, and he died. And his estate was just interested in cashing out. Yeah. So we left the block. And then, 2020 came and there was unrest and COVID, and actually it was a good place to be. Yeah,
you kind of took your chips off the board of the table.
And it was like I needed to be a delivery business by then anyway.
Yeah, you're kind of ahead of the game. So when did My Local Brew Works come around? I mean, you said
they were actually set up to start when COVID hit.
Yeah.
And realized that there's no way to start a brewery during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So they pulled back their license, and we continued through what we called our industrial homebrew period, where we were making beer and giving it away.
Lots of people do that now, like Sacred Vice, or is it Scarfato? What is it called? It's like a new Pilsner brewery. Lots of people are like doing that now, where it's just like, they're doing like this trial period.
Right. And worked out. We would give. We did stagehands one time.
With stagehands,
people that work in theater.
Oh,
we're not making any money. We did teachers at one point. We did first responders.
Got it.
Different things that we would give away 4 packs of beer. Everybody.
Yeah. How did you know how did you meet those guys before that?
Customers.
They were just home brewers.
Yeah.
And was this their plan? Was to start like kind of this like smaller system that was like?
Yeah, they were really interested in the, because a lot of their homebrew activities that were involved in supporting nonprofits and causes and stuff. So they really wanted to bring that aspect of it into the brewery.
It's also different, like if you like start another brewery, it's like kind of like the same thing as everybody else.
Right. It's really hard to explain that we, other than our Philly Finger, which we could try next.
Yeah.
We don't make any regular beers unless it's for a client, or an event or whatever.
Yeah.
You said you are the only ones like in the country that does this, right?
As far as we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had people ask me, like, can you make this? I'm like, well, I can, but I don't think that you're going to want this. But I can direct you towards, My Local Brewers. This is exactly what you're asking for.
Yeah.
I think for weddings, it makes a lot of sense. I did it with like a smaller brewery in Mexico, but like we're going to have to sell off half the beer before a wedding. It's like, you can't drink 7 barrels of beer at a wedding.
You don't know my family.
Yeah. I don't have that many friends.
What's the furthest that you guys would like do beer for? Like, is it Philly?
Yeah, how local was My Local Brew Works?
Basically, it's Philly centric. I mean, we did have a corporation come down from New York State, as I said last summer, to do something because of our ability to meet their size demands.
But it's not like you wouldn't ship out kegs too far or anything.
We are not authorized to sell beer out of state.
Gotcha.
However, they were more than welcome to drive down in their vehicle and do whatever they wanted to with it.
Okay.
Yeah, they were going to have a picnic down the street.
Whatever. We sent them to a place for cheesesteaks. They probably drank it all there.
Yeah.
Both barrels.
Yeah. They read the Michelin guy, went right to Dos Anjos.
Now, we sent them to John's just because of logistics. John's Roast Pork?
Yeah, I've honestly never been there before. I'm just making fun of
The guy got a James Beard Award.
I know.
You should go. And you got to go with a friend, because the thing to do is to get the roast pork and the cheesesteak, and do halfsies.
Yeah.
It is, in my opinion, the best cheesesteak in town. Some people will say Angelo's. It's good. I just.
Yeah, everyone says John's. I just
Yeah.
been there before.
I'll go. Go on a nice day, because there's no place to sit except outside.
Yeah, not today.
Yeah, today's a bad day.
Hey, brewery or small business owner, are you tired of navigating complex brewery accounting and taxes on your own? Staying up late working on financials and getting your finances in order after a whole workday? At the Beer Accountant, they understand the unique financial challenges of the craft brewing industry. They're a CPA dedicated to helping breweries like yours thrive, with services ranging from qualified bookkeeping, business tax prep, to strategic financial planning. Stop wasting time on spreadsheets and focus on what you do best: making great beer and running a small business, servicing over 50 breweries in 4 states. So if you own a brewery or small business, stop overpaying for reactive support and start being proactive with the Beer Accountant. Don't brew that IPA without this CPA. Visit beeraccountant.com to learn how their specialized expertise can help your brewery grow, profit, and succeed.
So, what kind of beers are you guys making? Is it mostly I imagine you guys are not making hazy beer,
We have done them as the client so wishes.
Is it mostly kind of traditional style ales?
No sours, certainly. As I said, the boys just don't want to let the funk loose. I imagine we would do a kettle sour if someone wanted it.
What's your what kind of beers do you make? Or do you make more traditional styles, or
I'm kind of a stickler for traditional styles. I like classic German styles, I like classic English styles, and I'm now told, old school classic American craft beers.
Yeah, which I now are kind of making a comeback. But
yes,
even when you were at the homebrew shop, were people coming in and looking for direction from you? I imagine you were kind of the expert to everybody.
Everyone was going to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
They were going to make a triangle version. They were going to make a square version. It would be much better than the round one.
Yeah, and you said...
as I once said to a kid that was working for me, you got to learn to feel the people out. Some people, you could take them by the hand and go, but maybe the way you're going about this isn't the best way. Maybe I could make a suggestion as to how you could get to where you want to go. And then you got to know who to go. Yeah, buddy, that's $75. Good luck with that.
Yeah, yeah. Please come again.
What was that like? What were the customers like? Was it more one way versus the other?
Predominantly men, and predominantly men with facial hair.
That checks out.
That's been a whole media thing. The AHA years ago, tried to research it, and that was the only thing they could come up with. It was mostly dudes, and they probably had something growing on their face. But they could be carpenters, they could be lawyers, they could be doctors.
Yeah. I imagine people would come in with homebrewers and be like, "What's wrong with this?"
Oh yeah.
Is that a lot?
Those are the moments.
Yeah. What were some of the crazy things that you had? It was just people doing...
I had a guy that wanted to malt chickpeas and make a chickpea beer. I'm not quite sure why.
Yeah.
But he wanted to. And he kept asking me questions, and I'm like, I just really don't have any experience malting or brewing with chickpeas.
Yeah, I didn't think that's possible.
Right. And a lot of, Yeah, it tastes like shit to me. What do you think? You know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thrilled. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of times that would just be nose it and go, yeah, lactobacillus or acetifer bacteria.
I wanted to sell beer at Royersford Beverage up in Royersford.
That would be a good place to put it.
Yeah, and so I handed him, like a sample. I'm like, this is like kind of my whole deal with like my brewery. Here's, Run Club if you want to like see what I'm doing. And he gave me the Uno reverse card. He's just like, well, I'm actually a home brewer. Here's my beer. I was like, it's not too often that I go in to sell beer to somebody and then I get beer.
Was it any good?
It was great.
Okay.
No.
I'm sorry, he's watching. Hi.
No, but it made me think because like this happened last week and I knew you were coming on.
Right.
I was just like, all right, he gave me beer. He asked me to like, drink.
The plus side is people will bring me stuff in they were really proud of.
Yeah,
and it was
no,
good.
and
Sure.
it was good beer. It had the one had like a slight like green apple flavor, like off flavor, and the other kind of a slightly like chlorinated off flavor. So like that could be like
Well, that could be non-water filtration.
yeah, exactly.
And green apple's one of those things. I mean, a hint of it in your British Pale Ale is okay.
It was an IPA, so it was
Yeah,
not
that's
style.
not really.
But it was an off flavor. But you know what? I was just like, I know this isn't right, but it does taste good. Like it like that's the whole thing. Like I recognize that like this beer's fucked up. But I did like it.
Well,
So I told him that I'm like I mean I think that you were on the right path. I didn't go like
All right.
it's just it's really hard to homebrew.
I mean, the biggest problem for home brewers with stuff like that is temperature control.
Is that what you kind of tell people? It's like it's for me for when I was homebrewing. The hardest part for me was just I guess temperature control because it was like how I kept trying to like get like
And self-control.
fridges,
I bottled this 2 days ago when I opened it up and it's flat. And I say, well, have you considered waiting a little longer?
Yeah, but I think a lot of people mess up with like cleanliness also. They're just like not cleaning the things, and it's like for commercial brewery or people that have stainless, it's very easy. You just hit it with harsh chemicals, and you get it really wet and hot, and it goes away. But home brewers, it's like a lot of it is plastic, and it's like
The thing I would always have to stress is there are two things you do to your equipment.
yeah,
You clean it.
Yes.
And then you take the thing that is clean and you sanitize it.
Yes.
And the people who have trouble think that's one big happy step.
yeah, rinse, clean, rinse, sanding, and it's like people just don't understand that, and it's. I don't know. That's like cleaning it. I feel like it's like 90% of the battle. Like once you clean it and like use a temperature control, after that it's just following directions.
Yeah. And taste, I mean,
Yeah.
you get to areas where some people don't like certain things, and it's hard sometimes for them to understand that it's not to their taste, but it may be not bad. I had a guy once saw a recipe in Papazian's book for a Russian Imperial Stout. So he brews it, and he goes, oh, I made that stout recipe in Charlie's book, and it was awful. I said, what was wrong with it? And he was like, oh, it was really thick and syrupy, and it was really strong. It didn't taste anything like a Guinness. Well, no, I was like, well, yeah.
Sounds like you
It's like
nailed
Russian
it.
Imperial Stout.
Yeah. Did you have some people come in and were like, you need to start a brewery? Were people making some like killer stuff?
I try to avoid telling people to do that just because
You don't want to be in.
most of them wanted to do it already, and it was just like, good luck,
Yeah. You don't need to convince people to like take a mortgage out on their house.
But were you able to see like the gems that were coming through, or be like,
Oh, sure.
yeah,
Did you, any of the people that you said like got started, like Tom Keogh, or were you able to kind of like taste their beers before they got started? Like, do you remember any of the people that are brewing now?
I always remember the early days of Yards when it was all keg conditioned on a hand pump.
Yeah.
And I would usually stop at London Grill on my way home because it was about midway.
Yeah.
How convenient.
Yeah.
Place with beer. And I would have a handful, and I once said to him, yeah, I love getting my pint of Yards. They're like snowflakes. No two are alike.
They're all
But
special.
they're all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's strawberries today.
It's fun. Yeah, when he came in, he's just like, yeah, we were keg conditioning everything on like the Hoff Stevens kegs.
Yeah.
I was
It
like,
was
crazy
crazy.
shit. I've never heard of anybody doing that before, and that would be insane for somebody to do that now. But
the reason you see beer engines in any of the older bars is probably because of yards back then.
I'm sure there's bars now like Al over at Concrete Blues and some other people are making these like English pub ales, and I'm sure like Beating House over in Fishtown, like they do a lot of English style ales, and it's probably cool. I know that I've looked at some spaces and they have the hand pumps, and I'm sure it's because of yards, but I'm sure there's people who are, now it's kind of coming back. Do you guys do any like cash condition stuff?
Only for events. We always do the Real Ale Festival, and we usually do Scotzy's for Teeth.
Yeah. His episode is coming out. When this comes out, it'll be a couple weeks, but his episode is coming out tomorrow, which will be fun. So what's the beer that we want to try now?
I'm going to direct you to the Philly Finger, which is
Philly Finger. Is this the one you were saying? This was the beer that you've been tinkering with for like 20
I've been
years?
tinkering under the hood on this since
And now-
1993.
And now I guess it's officially
And
done.
now I'm not allowed to fuck with it anymore. I've
You want to pour it out?
have a taste. It's a mashup of a Kolsch
Okay.
and a West Coast Blonde.
Nice.
So German malts and German ale yeast, good old K97, and American and German hops. We got some Azakas and some tradition going in there.
What do you have things that you like? Wow, it smells great. Do you have different malts or hops that you like to use that you kind of like?
I'm very fond of Vireman base malts, which is pretty much entirely in this thing.
Nice. And you said it has Azaka in it.
Azaka.
Do you like that hop?
I do. I like it. Well, that was one of the things I was always tinkering with, different citrusy hop.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So we just wanted something that was, the goal with this beer was a beer that was drinkable by some schmuck that doesn't like craft beer, but drinkable by somebody that does like craft beer.
It's like
the real
complex,
schmucks.
It is really complex.
but it's like basic at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just very drinkable.
And there's nothing wrong with beer being drinkable.
And even like the haze, like it's clear, but it's also hazy. It's
Well, we don't filter. I mean,
Yeah,
and
it's a great color though. I like it. It has a nice head.
a little bit of wheat, a little bit of carafoam will help with that.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, it's so it's our signature. That's the only beer we would put into multiple accounts, and even then, we won't do it at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's exclusive still.
So what is your system like there? You said it's a barrel and a half or a barrel?
One barrel.
And is it an actual system or is it like kegs that you guys kind of retrofitted?
No, it's a Ruby Street really sucks system on the hot side, with the steel from China rapidly being replaced with American steel as it fails.
Yeah.
And then all our tanks and our brights are from SS Brewtech. We're in the process of putting together a 5 hectoliter in the adjoining space
That'd be cool.
from Specific Mechanic, I believe.
Nice.
But this is not my pay grade. You'll have to get Wayne or Timmy to tell you about that.
Do you know Scott over at Specific?
Who do you think is our guy?
Yeah, I mean, before I was asking you, like,
The dude.
yeah, who do you know from Oxbow? And
I know him since he was at Mackenzie's.
Yeah, so you said Fava, and I know Fava used to work with him, so it's like, he's cool.
He's a good guy.
I've never had any of his beer. I know you used to brew at Aaron's bar, the old
The Old Eagle.
yeah.
No,
The Chester,
the Old Eagle was their bar in town.
Yeah.
Barron Hill.
Barron Hill, yeah. Yeah, they were brewing in their basement there or something, or like the
Yeah, he
side.
trained Andrew there from Human Robot.
Yeah. Again, like this tree that is just
Another person I used to sell homebrew supplies to.
connected to you, and then still coming back like kind of full circle.
That was cool because we wanted to check out the decoction, so Andrew had us come over one day. And
So we were talking before this, full circle. Like when William Reed came in, he said he used to live in this building, and you're like, oh yeah, like my wife used to drop off extract here.
30-pound tubs of malt extract, or 60-pound tubs of malt extract. He was making 15-gallon batches in old bell jars,
Which is
from the rafters.
Which is funny because then he went on to work at Sam Adams, which is famously an extract brewery.
Yep.
And you
I
said,
actually sent him down for the gig. I said, hey, Pericles is leaving. He's beaming up to the mothership. Go down and talk to them.
yeah, that's funny. And it's funny, like, to think that, like, brewing with extract is kind of sets you up perfectly for your job because that's crazy. The one thing that
When Notting Head came in, they put in a mash tun.
yeah, there's all these like advanced hop products and everything. The brewing industry, like, why have they not figured out a way to make like advanced malt products that are just extracts that are much better than normal extracts? Like,
I
hop
found
products
if
can
you
be better.
use extra light extract as a basis of everything,
Yeah.
and only boil a small portion of it, add the bulk of it late in the process,
Yeah.
it's really hard to tell.
Yeah, and maybe it's because
And you have to put a pound or so of base malt in with your specialties. That's all,
Yeah.
just to get the flavor.
and maybe it's because it's easy enough with the professional homebrew system just to mash and louder. But I always thought, like, if you could just kind of skip that process, like, why has extract not or malt products not advanced the same speed as hops? Like, hops now it's crazy. It's like
I know. I love my
future
cryos.
hops.
Those are cryo Azakas, by the way.
Oh, really? Yeah. Do you use a lot of that, like cryo and kind of advanced stuff?
We use cryo on any of our dry hop beers, or any of our hop forward American beers. We're finishing with cryos.
Are you and you're dry hoppy with
And
the-
dry hop with cryos.
And like, what's your dry hop kind of like procedure like? Are you kind
A boiled nylon bag dropped into the tank.
of nice? Well, I guess you guys
We tried free range, and man, it just gummed everything up.
Yeah. And so what you just put it then into like kind of a conditioning tank, or because it's kind of going straight into year?
We'll actually just pull it out, cold crash, and then move it to a bright tank.
Okay, cool. And then are you carbonating in there? Are you
The carbonate in the bright tank.
okay? Cool. That's nice that you guys are able to carbonate in there. Like, as much as you guys are only making like 150 bottles at a time like that, you don't want to be dealing with that.
No, the most we've done was when we had to do 2 barrels at once for the guys up in New York, which was a long day.
So what are the days like when people come in and they want to brew? It's like, I don't think people realize, like, oh, this is 8 hours and it's a lot of sitting here looking
Well,
at
we have a
text.
lot of stuff set up.
Okay, yeah.
The water's hot and ready to go. The grains are ground. And basically, we give them a little pep talk and we have them start throwing buckets of grain in.
Yeah.
And then, typically we entertain them with stories of hops and brewing and the ingredients and explain them all.
Sure, okay.
And then we start giving them beer. Then we feed them lunch before we give them more beer.
So it's a full experience behind
Right. And then we have them, add the hops during the process. And, just hang out with the brewers. And each event is sort of organic in its own way. I mean, sometimes you have people who know nothing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have people that are somewhat not. I mean, one group was a home brewer, that I knew
Yeah.
from the home brewing, and he just needed a bigger batch for an event. So, obviously I didn't have to tell him how malt was made or.
Yeah. Yeah. He's probably like, shut up. I'm
Right,
here
exactly.
hang out, drink beers with you guys on a party.
So, each one is kind of different depending on who it's for and what the goal is.
But
And then we had one that was like a bachelor party, and they didn't really care. Hey, we're out of the stuff. Hey, take my picture. Hey, drink some more beer.
Yeah.
So it's.
How frequent are you brewing then as well? Again,
Well, it's sort of like retail. People say, when are you busy? And it's like, when do people come in,
yeah.
Yeah. Some days I'm sure you're crushed.
Sometimes it's 2 a month, and sometimes it's none a month,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 3 a month.
Yeah.
And we also do the brew experiences for people who don't want a beer, and they can come in while we're brewing this or Bolo or whatever and get the same, that aspect of the experience without the product.
Yeah. Are you? Do people ever come in like? I guess breweries, it's kind of like too expensive for the people like experiment with stuff. Like they kind of have their own system.
Right. I mean, the bottom line is our beers are not cheap.
Yeah, because
Because it's very hands-on.
Yeah, it's for like special occasions where it's almost like the cost doesn't matter.
Right, exactly.
You're doing something
Well,
special.
especially when it gets into labeling. It's like, if you want a fancy label, they're like $1.50 a piece. And we don't make money on the labels.
Yeah.
But then again, we don't lose money on the labels either. So it's like whatever you want to pay for it. That's why a lot of them end up taking our, generic label that we use in house.
Yeah, no, but it looks. I mean, it's a cool label, and like I said, I like the. I mean, I'm sure it's a pain in the ass, but the 2 stickers on it does look very cool.
Right. It gives us our base label and the chance to describe each individual product.
Yeah. So the 2 beers that we had were kind of just like these. I don't want to call them like middle of the road beers, but they're drinkable beers. Are you guys making any extreme things, like any super high ABV stuff?
I brought George's Fault.
What's that?
Which is a beer I brewed with Notting Head 10 years ago and took a gold medal at the GABF.
Oh, wow.
And that's a high octane Belgian Grand Cru.
Wow.
Sort of like an Uber Wit.
Yeah.
And we've also got a triple. The beer we brewed in Chris LaPierre's memory, the Busted Bicycle Saison, was a high octane Saison.
Why is that Busted Bicycle? What's the story with the bicycle?
Well, first of all, Chris was a bike enthusiast.
Okay.
And second of all, he was a huge Leo Kottke fan. And one of Leo Kottke's songs is called Busted Bicycle. And when we saw that and knew he was a Kottke fan and a bike geek, he rode his bike cross country at one point.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, a serious bike geek. And it was just, it seemed like the name, I
Definitely.
said, hey, how about Busted Bicycle? And everybody's like, that's it.
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue, too.
And we had a bunch of his friends in when we brewed. That was like a sort of a super brew experience. I mean, that wasn't an event, but it was an in-house thing for us.
No, it's cool. It's kind of like cathartic. You can everybody gets together.
Yes. It was a bunch of his friends, mostly not from the brewing industry, a few from the brewing industry. We were trying to get the Iron Hill guys on board, but we didn't realize they were a little preoccupied.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now I realize it's not that they don't like me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So I watched the video on YouTube that you did with Sam where you brewed a beer for your birthday.
That was when I turned 60.
Yeah. But that was what? That was another Belgian beer?
That was a dark Belgian spiced beer.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to try this. Like, how many Belgian beers are you making? I've always thought homebrewing is very hard. Everyone tries to make like lagers with it and something like this. Stuff's very hard. And like you said before, temperature control is very difficult with homebrewing. I think Belgian beers are an amazing beer to make when you're homebrewing because like you can let the temperature kind of free rise a little bit with it.
Generally, I mean, you don't want it to look like a heart monitor.
No, but it's more than a lager and like an ale. It's kind of like you can let it go up a little bit more. It's a little bit more, I guess, forgiving with the temperature.
Yeah.
So, I mean, was that something that people were pushing hard or no?
Well, it's something we like for one thing.
Yeah.
We've got a killer triple that's a 9.9, but I didn't think we wanted a 9% beer for the podcast.
No,
But I could have brought some.
We have another episode after, so.
After this. Oh, they have weed drinks too, so I don't know. That might go off the rails a little bit.
True.
It'll hit me when I get home. Monica's going to kick me out of the house.
After you eat everything in the refrigerator?
Yeah. Can we bust this guy open though and try it?
Sure. I mean,
Sorry, Evan, you have to chug your beer.
I know.
So a Spice Golden Strong Belt.
and unfortunately, I only had one bottle of that, so.
So wait, you brewed this with Nottingham or just the same recipe?
It's the same recipe, yeah. It actually beat out Midas Touch in the honey ale category.
Really? You said you had
And we had a good time busting Sam's balls about that.
you said you have an original bottle of Midas Touch from like the first batch they made.
My wife does. She hides stuff from me. She says if I know about it, I drink it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's we were looking at some pictures beforehand when William came on. He says he has Schmidt bottles at the bottom of Johnny Brenda's. So John Old from I guess now from
Best day.
Best Day, was down there in the basement the other day and took pictures of it. But finding a bottle like that is it's a lot of fun.
I don't know about vintage Schmitz.
No. But do you think Midas Touch would hold up?
I had a similar age bottle. I don't think it was quite as old as the one we had that Sam brought to toast Patrick McGovern, the molecular archaeologist, when he passed away. And
Spear's great.
it was a little pruny.
Yeah.
This is like over a year old at this point.
No, this beer tastes really good. Were you brewing up, like, how well do you know the Notting Head guys? I mean, the Notting Head, when Notting Head came out, it was probably there were 6 breweries in the city.
Yeah.
It was like them, Yards, Dock Street.
Well, I mean, Tom and Fergie were involved. I'm tight with them. Kurt, was involved.
Who's Kurt?
Kurt Decker from Second District.
Oh, yes. How long has
that's where
Second
the
District
system
been
is.
around? Second District's been around forever.
They opened a year or two after Notting Head closed. It's the Notting Head system.
Oh, really? Because they have some guy from Dogfish Head as well. I forget Ben Potts.
Ben Potts, he's moved on.
Oh, really?
I believe he's in the cannabis field now.
Oh, really? Rode that wave. You lost another one.
But so and it was 5 blocks from the store. It was sort of like I was like Norm at Cheers there when I'd walk in.
Yeah. Were people coming to you? I mean, I imagine you were kind of like the local beer expert. And like people were coming in. Like, did it ever turn into kind of like a round table at Home Sweet Homebrew?
A lot of times, yeah.
Like people were coming in, like kind of like looking for advice, and then just kind of turning like the knowledge center.
People meet people, and we also had the Hops Homebrew Club, which goes back, I think, to '84. That club dates.
Really, '84.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
I mean, even before you guys opened.
Exactly. Yeah, Homebrewers of Philadelphia and Suburbs, one of the oldest clubs in the country.
I mean, where would it? It's still like I don't even know where these people would be getting their raw materials from. Were they just going to breweries and just like stealing stuff? Like before you, there was nothing. Like you couldn't order stuff online.
There was, I mean, before 1978, it wasn't even legal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how old were you in 19? I mean, was that rude? How old were you?
I'm 71. All right.
Okay. Do you remember when that happened? Like, was that like a defining thing?
That was when I was first tasting craft beer, so it didn't really affect me because by the time I got into the home brewing, it was already above board.
Okay.
Because that was like two or 3 years later.
Because like my question is,
And it wasn't really stopping anybody from brewing because the bottom line was, the cops weren't kicking down anybody's doors.
Yeah, nobody cares. It's like even now, it's like
Except one guy up in Bucks County I heard about who was cleaning carboys and washing his wort chiller coil in the yard, and his neighbor looked over the fence and he went, "Hell, my neighbor's running a meth lab," and called the cops.
it does kind of look like that. Make a quick transition.
Next thing he knows, he's relaxing, having a homebrew, watching the game, and his door gets kicked in. Please, motherfucker!
What the hell?
Oh my gosh.
That would be insane. Yeah, I never had to deal with any of that stuff. Cool. I mean, I guess like what do you? I mean, are you just kind of like, this is what you want to do? It's like you're kind of like retired. Like this is
Well,
half retired, I guess.
I'm old.
Yeah.
But my sister's older, and I see how she slowed down when she stopped working, and I don't want to slow down yet.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, but
want
like
to
I
keep
said,
active and do stuff, and I like drinking beer, and I like being around people that drink beer, and
you can keep doing this. I mean, it's not like,
I just don't do as much heavy lifting.
oh, that's what you got people like me here for, is clean stuff for you, carry bags around. And I imagine graining out for you guys isn't that big of a deal.
No. I've been milling it as of late because Wayne's been really busy with his studio projects, but generally he does the milling, and I just lay out the grains, write the recipes, write the descriptions of the recipes. If the beer needs a name, I probably come up with it. Sometimes the clients have a name. Sometimes the clients need help with a name. You know, we had the Jewish Community Center at one point, and they couldn't figure out what to call their Weiss beer. And I said, we call it the Nagila Weiss. Why? Well, when you have a Weiss, have a Nagila. And they're like, that's great.
There's Schmaltz Brewing Company made Hebrew.
Yes.
Do you ever have that? Have you had their beer?
Oh, yeah, years ago. You did the dinner at Monk's at one point. Nice guy. I remember suggesting he glue 2 4-packs together so they could have an 8-pack for Hanukkah.
Yeah. Yeah. He was, when I would graduate college, I must have emailed like 400 people, and he was one of the only people that actually responded to me. It was just like, I don't have a job for you, man, but I'm responding to you. I'm like, all right, thank you for responding to me.
Just because you're a human being and you deserve a response.
Yes. I'm eternally grateful for a response from him. But
Nancy used to have to temper me when the internet first started, becoming active, because I would get these people, you could tell they were just drunk at the bar, and it's like, me want information. And it's just like, I'll respond to you like you're a normal person, even though you didn't, greet me or thank me. And, you can't say that.
Have you ever gotten like blocked?
What's wrong with hi? How you doing?
Mm-hmm. So you do a lot of writing.
Yeah.
Your writing is great in Mid-Atlantic Beers, but have you ever gone on to just like straight up blogging on yourself?
Actually, Wayne and a friend of his are trying to pressure me into doing a sort of a beer and loathing book.
Well, how would that work? Just like talking about like your.
I have to figure that out. my varying experiences in yarns, because they say once they get me going, I've got a million great craft beer yarns.
Yeah, it's. So I told you I used to work at Flying Dog. So Flying Dog's all about like Ralph Steadman.
Oh yeah.
Gonzo journalism and like kind of like creating your own path and just like speaking your own journey, kind of talking about your own journey.
Sure.
Is the story. And I mean, I think that's like a lot of what craft beer is like telling the story as you're going.
Absolutely.
So it is fun, and like kind of like creating this fun story about it, and it's like make it entertaining. I don't know. It could be good. And you know how to write.
I got a deadline with Mid-Atlantic. I promise I'm going to start, some notes.
So
he wants me to do it while I'm still sharpish. Before the senility hits.
Just keep drinking. You'll stay sharp with the ears.
I'm well pickled. I'm well preserved.
You're not going anywhere. Cool. I mean, I guess, do you have anything else to kind of announce for My Local Brew Works or Home Sweet Homebrew?
Well, we're having a good time. We're making good beer. Check us out.
No reason to change anything. Just chugging along.
Yeah.
Cool. And how do people? So if people are listening, they're interested in like kind of like making is a beer with you guys, or like kind of doing an event, like they just kind of reach out to you guys on the website.
Website's the best way. I mean, we have a phone and we check the messages periodically, but 99% of what comes through on the phone is spam.
Yeah. Just send you guys an email.
Email is the best result because it'll get an answer. info@mylocalbrewworks.com.
Cool.
And Home Sweet Homebrew still has homesweethomebrew.com, and I will come at your beck and call with your homebrew.
Yeah, if you're thinking about homebrewing and going somewhere stopping you, it's very easy. George will show up at your front door. But
you'll beg me to go away.
And also check out Mid-Atlantic Brew News, because I mean it's a great publication. It's like you said, like every other month. That's like you're getting like actual brewing. It's hard. As much as there's social media now, it's still difficult to kind of get full length articles. I know Breweries in PA kind of writes articles every once in a while.
Yeah, but
it's hard to. A lot of the brewing publications that have kind of gone away in the last couple of years, and you guys are still pumping out articles
along with the beers.
Yeah,
it's.
But I think that they kind of go together. It's like if people want to stay interested, it's just like you got to kind of like lean into it, read more about it. It's like get more. There's still lots of stuff out there for people that are interested. So
absolutely, I'm just
trying
to reverse the flow myself.
Exactly. I'm working on myself. Keep drinking. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. And it's nice to actually get to meet you. We've been talking a little bit the last couple of weeks, and like we said, like your name has come up like so often that like you've been kind of on our top of our list. Like,
I've been the corrupter of many. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure we're going to continue to look for somebody beyond you that knows everybody. But as far as right now, you are the least common denominator of anyone that we've talked to. It's like, so it's very cool. Kind of like, you know, we always talk about this, the web of brewers, and you're kind of sitting at the center of everybody.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah. And then you can follow us at Brewdat, at the Brewdat podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. Give us a rating. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on Spotify.
Like, if you're listening this far, subscribe on everything. You're a fan. You gotta be.
Yeah, it takes 3 seconds. It's
I'm
free.
going to do it when I get home.
Let's do it. Yeah, so we got one more. And then we'll see you guys next week. Cool.
Sweet.